Hi, my name is Katie Price, and today I'm going to be talking about my senior thesis, Learning at a Distance. This step in the research phase, I conducted interviews, ethnography, and ran a survey with teachers and parents to learn how they will be handling the current COVID-19 pandemic and how it relates to their children's learning environment. Today, I will be discussing my findings with teachers and parents, key questions from those discussions, and the personas I've created based off research data. So let's talk about how things have changed. Pre-COVID, 3.3 million students were enrolled in exclusively online school in the US. In March of this year, globally 1.2 billion students were learning from home. This is a massive increase that no one, parents, students, or teachers, were prepared for. The main problem in March, how to teach students online with zero preparation. The main problem now, how to keep students engaged while at a distance or online. So let's start with the teachers. Teachers right now have a lot in their mind. They're better prepared than they were in March, but everything takes so much more time than it did before. It's exciting to learn new programs to keep future semesters, but it's a struggle to keep students engaged, especially younger ones. So where are students right now? Well, 68% of students are learning from home, and 18% of students are hybrid, meaning they either learn from home for a few days a week and in person a few days, or they learn from home half the day and in person half the day. Combined, that is a total of 86% of students who are learning from home during the week at some point. So, from those at home who has internet, well, 60% have no internet problems at all. 30% of students have problems once a week, and 10% have problems once a day. And that may not sound like a lot, but out of a class of 20 students, that could be 8 of your students who are either late to class, kicked from a Zoom call and have to rejoin, or have difficulty getting their assignments done at least once a week. But let's say they do have internet. Well, how much time on screen do you have before they need a break? An average lesson according to interviews was an hour, but only 42% of students can sit still long enough to pay attention for that whole hour. You lose 16% of kids after 20 minutes, and 42% more kids after 45 minutes. So if a lesson is an hour, you need a break halfway or you lose engagement of 58% of your students, which takes even more time away from learning. And how can teachers plan a digital lesson if students can't sit long enough to watch a screen? Well, let's talk about day-to-day as a parent. The day-to-day life of a parent right now is full of questions. How will my kids stay on track if they're learning from home? How will I get all my work done if I have to teach my kids to do their work? At least for many, there are some positives. Many parents are excited to get to spend more time with their kids than they would have if they were in separate places. It is also exciting to learn new things about their kids and be able to see their children's thought processes and how they solve problems. But helping teach is a full-time job. 85% of parents have to help their children with their schoolwork during the day. This is a huge time suck for parents who have also to work on their full-time job from home. Many feel a sense of guilt for lower work productivity and for putting their family before their work. 52% of students have to use 4 or more apps for school. Most of the time, their parents have to keep all their assignments organized because their children are too young to keep track of so many apps. In terms of current solutions, there are a lot of competitors taking advantage of the digital market. However, none of them are able to accomplish every task. Many can play videos, have video calls, track assignments, work real time, or allow group assignments. But none of them can do everything, and often a student needs to use 4 or more of these programs to achieve all of their assignments for the day. This makes it very easy to forget and let an assignment fall through the cracks. It also requires a student to have to sit on their computer all day, every day, which isn't good for their mental health. So, some key standout questions. How do we keep students engaged? How do we limit screen time? And how can social activity be done in different places? These are questions and concerns that are shared between parents and teachers. But first, let's talk about screen time. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, screen time should be restricted to less than 1 hour per day per child. However, in the United States, about 98% of children ages 0 to 8 years old spend more than 2 hours a day on screens. It is actually predicted by psychologists that there will be a severe drop in developmental skills in children due to this pandemic. And according to studies, children who spend too much time on screens usually show lower concentration, attention level, and perform less well in reading tasks. This also creates too much reliance on digital media, and it can hold back their imagination power and motivation level. Which is interesting because this was actually brought up as a concern in many interviews with parents. Many parents are worried that their child will fall behind in reading and language arts specifically more than any other subject, which raises the big question: how can students learn from home without the excessive use of screens? Well, before we can answer that question, we have to talk a little psychology. When designing products for children, there is a lot to consider developmentally, especially when it comes to designing a product to aid education. For this purpose, I'm going to focus on two stages: the pre operational stage and the concrete operational stage. The pre operational stage covers ages 2 to 7 years old. It focuses on learning skills that develop language and the ability to think in symbols and to work towards a singular goal. With this stage, games that are matching colors or shapes are good to grow a child's mental skills. Our other stage to focus on is the concrete operational stage. This stage covers ages 7 to 11 years old and focuses on solving problems through logic and growing social skills. There is not a definitive age for these skills, but rather a range that is affected by the child's environment and the people around it. This is also important because the best toys are designed for the use of kids in different stages of their development. Pokemon cards are a great analogy for this. Pokemon cards is a great example of a toy that transcends the developmental stages. It is a great game for younger kids because of the colors and the elements. It makes it a perfect game to learn matching and thinking in a single direction. These cards continue to be a great game for kids as they get older and learn how to solve problems and play with other kids. So from that, let's think about our two personas. From my research, I have developed two personas, Desiree and Sharon. Desiree focuses on the experience of parents, and Sharon focuses on the experience of teachers. First, let's talk about Sharon. Sharon is our teacher persona, and she is 50 years old. Sharon needs a product that will let her connect to her students without being in person. She also needs something that will save her and her students time. Sharon would like something that does not require looking at a screen all day, and she needs a product that is designed for group collaboration. Next is Desiree. Desiree is our parent persona and is 32 years old. She is currently married and working from home. She struggles with being able to balance her full-time work and helping her daughter Bailey with her schoolwork. Desiree would like something that would let her daughter work without needing help. She also would like one place where she can find all of her daughter's assignments. After talking about my two personas, you probably noticed that someone was missing. Someone very important. The teachers have a persona and the parents have a persona, so what other users are there? A group that I've talked about, but not as directly as the first two. If you guessed a child persona, you would be right. I still need a persona for the main users of this product. In this phase of research, I focus on the teachers and their parents and their needs, as well as the parents and their pain points. But for my next phase of research, it will be solely focused on the children using this product. In terms of next steps, I plan to conduct co-creations with children who would use this product. I haven't decided whether that will be in person or on video call yet. After that, I will begin my ideation phase, where I hope to design a product that will aid learning and benefit all three of the users. These will help me to create design criteria for my product. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out and send me an email. Also, if you want to keep following my thesis, please follow me on Instagram. Bye!